In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the dispenser of grace. My name is Muhammad Osama, and today I'm going to express my views on the topic of views, uses of views, and creation of views in an oracle. So let's get started. In this session, we will briefly discuss about the views. Our session overview will be the what are the views in the databases. Like we will discuss deeply that what are views and why are they used, and what are their importance in databases. We will also discuss what are the uses of views in the database. How can we use databases? How can we use views in the databases? And at the end, we will also discuss that how we can create uses in Oracle. So this will be the our session overview. These three main streams on which we are going to discuss our today's topic. So, what is a view? A database view, we can simply say that view in SQL is a kind of some virtual tables. View has a number of rows and columns as they are in real tables in the databases. So we can also say that views are the subset of the databases because views have more than one or two tables joined together. We can also say that when we select some tables, more than two tables or more than one table, we select some information from them, and in the result, we can make a single view. So this was all about the anatomy of the view, how it is created and what is the view. We have discussed that we can make views by more than two tables. So it's like a virtual tables. We can also save frequently used or complex queries are also saved in the views. Okay, now we will discuss about some of the important types of the views in the databases. That is, one is the dynamic views and the second one is the static views. We will not go deeper in these terms because we have a separate point of view on view. We have a separate we have to discuss the definition of the view and why the views are used in databases and how can we create the views. So creating an SQL view. How can we create an SQL view? Okay, we can create a view using the create view statement. We can create views by our simply statements in SQL. There is a proper syntax in databases that how can we create views. View can also be created in a single tables or the multiple tables, because we have discussed earlier that views are created by one or more than two tables. So the proper syntax which is used to create a view is described in this slide. We use the word create view name as select from column 1 or column 2 from table name where condition applies. View name will be the name of the view and table name will be the name of the table, and condition will be the selected rows which we are going to apply the condition. So this was all about how to create a view in a single table. We can also create views in multiple tables. We can also create views in single table. So this was all about how can we create a view and how can we create the view in an SQL databases. Okay, here we will discuss some uses of the databases, that why the views are used in the databases and what are their advantages. So the first use of the database is the restricting data access. It's the it's an important view. It's an important use of the database. In this use, we can restrict our data from the users. We can only present or we can only display our data to that users for which we are going to be confidential. So this was a unique feature of the views. Uh, we can restrict data accesses to those persons which are confidential to us. We can hide data. Okay, the next point is the hiding data complexity. This is the second important use of the databases, and it's somehow related to restricting data sets. We can hide different data complexity from multiple tables for which we are going to combine the data into a view. Okay, the next important point is the use of the important view is simplify the commands for the users. We can also simplify commands for the users from multiple tables and without requiring the users to actually know how to perform a join. We have a number of joins for performing the uh, op option of views. The joins we have studied are theta join. We have also studied about theta join and different joins. Okay, next important use is we have also discussed some semi joins and equi joins and natural joins and outer joins. Okay, here are some more uses of views for the databases, like to store complex queries. We can also use views to store complex queries. We can also rename columns. It's an encanting feature of the views for the in the databases. We can rename the columns without affecting the base tables. It's an important uh, functionality of the views. It's an unique functionality of the views that we can rename the columns without affecting the base tables. And keep in mind, when we are matching different columns, we have to provide the same number of columns in view that match the number of columns specified by the select statement. So after that, we can rename the names of the columns to the base tables. Another important feature is the multiple view facility. Different views can be created by the same table for different users. If there are different users which are using the views, we can also create different views for the same table creation. Okay, the next step is how can we create the views in an Oracle? Here we can also add that views are views are also created, views are deleted, views are updated. So we can apply many CRUD operations on views in an Oracle. Databases views are created using the create view statement. As we have discussed earlier, that views are created by using create view statement. A proper statement is used for this purpose. View can be created by a single table or multiple tables in another way. We have discussed it earlier that if we have single table or multiple tables, more than one table, we can create views by joining more than two tables, and we can also find view from that tables. So in creating a view from a single table, we will use or we will utilize this type of syntax to create new Brazil customers as select customer name, contact number from customers where country is Brazil. So the result of that query will be the uh, customers on those customers are only from Brazil and they have their specific customers names and contact numbers. So this will be displayed on the view option. Okay. So next thing is that we can perform different type of operations in the database. And in specifically in DML, data manipulation language, we can perform different operations like inserting operation, updation operation, deletion operation. We can perform different type of these operations on simple views. So this was all about the DML operations, which can be performed on the views. Okay, and in this slide, we will discuss some further or more important uses of the views. Some of the features or the uses we have discussed in earlier slides. So in this slide, we will discuss about restricting the data access. This is one of the use of the view. Hiding the data complexity. We have discussed it earlier. Simplify commands for the users. It means that views allows the user to select information from multiple tables without requiring the users to actually know that how can we join. So this was an important feature of the view. Next feature is to store complex queries. We can also store complex queries in views. We can also rename columns without affecting the base columns or tables that are provided by the number of columns in view. This is one of the most important feature of views. And the last feature is to provide a multiple view facility to different users and for the same table that we have created. So this was all about the uses of the views. Okay, if you have any questions or queries, you may ask in a comment section below. And thank you so much for your attention. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.